As we mentioned in our previous episode of Market Journal, ethanol has many benefits when it comes to reducing pollution. According to Roger Berry, Nebraska Corn Board's Director of Market Development, ethanol not only makes the air safer and healthier, but also saves him money at the pump. We spoke with Roger at the Nebraska Ethanol Board's Emerging Issues Forum and began by asking him about the progress of ethanol in Nebraska.
You know, it's really an amazing story of what we're seeing with ethanol. You know, ethanol has a long history in Nebraska, and Todd Sneller of the Ethanol Board he's the one who can really tell you a lot about the history of ethanol in Nebraska and has seen that growth that's going on. But let's just go back for a few years here, say to the beginning of the Renewable Fuel Standard back in 2005 and 2007, in that time era. We really didn't see much for ethanol in the state prior to that. Once the Renewable Fuel Standard came in and it was required to start having 10% ethanol in our fuel is when things really started to take off. And since that time, we have just seen a tremendous amount of growth in even higher blends of ethanol. Of course, E10, we don't even think about E10 anymore. We pull up, we pick up the nozzle, we put it in our car, and 98% of the time, or 98% of the fuel, I guess I should say, that we put into our cars has that E10 in it. Now we're starting to hear about higher blends of ethanol, E15, E30, E85, and we're seeing those blends be utilized just so much more in the state because people are starting to figure out that, whoa, this is a better fuel and it's costing me less money.
Nebraska is the nation's second largest ethanol producer by producing more than 2.1 billion gallons annually. In addition, the ethanol industry also employs more than 1,300 people and contributes $5 billion to Nebraska's economy. With this information, we further asked Roger about the international aspect of ethanol with Nebraska's corn producers.
The economic impact on the state of Nebraska with ethanol is huge. Say we lost ethanol in the state of Nebraska, we would have a lot of our rural communities simply dry up and blow away. I mean, I know we have that problem anyhow with rural communities decreasing in population, but we would see that accelerated many times over if we lost our ethanol, because it gives such a great market to the corn producers so that those corn producers can stay on the farm and continue to feed that economic activity into the local communities.
According to American Ethanol, Nebraska's 25 ethanol plants consume 750 million bushels of corn and produce 6.4 million tons of distillers' grain annually. In order to help support the local workforce, it is important to remember that E10 gasoline is approved under warranty by every automaker in the world. In addition, the EPA approves the usage of gasoline that is 15% to 85% ethanol in all gasoline-powered vehicles 2001 and newer. Even higher blends such as E30, E40, and E85 are also approved for flex fuel vehicles.
And we often hear people say, oh gosh, even though I drive a flex fuel vehicle, I'm afraid to put it in there. It might hurt my vehicle. It's made for that fuel. So you can be rest assured, you can put up to E85 and any mix in between into that flex fuel vehicle. But let's talk about E15, because E15, although it can be used in a flex fuel vehicle, can also be used in any vehicle 2001 or newer. So that's 90% of the cars on the road today, maybe even more than 90% anymore. And a lot of people don't realize that. When you pull up to a pump and if you pull into a station that has E15, you're going to see E15 is normally about 5 cents cheaper than what normal unleaded, what we call unleaded, would be. If you drive a car that's 2001 and newer, and if you're not using E15, you're just having money taken out of your pocket. And I don't know about you, but I like to keep that money in my pocket. So I use the E15 in my 2001 newer car any chance that I can get.
By using the highest ethanol blended gasoline available for your vehicle, one will not only benefit the local workforce and save money, but will also help reduce pollution.
Every time you use a fuel that has a higher blend of ethanol in it, you are cutting down on that pollution that you're putting into the air. I like to use those higher blends of fuel in my car, and every time I pull up to a stoplight, I look at the car beside me, and I think, my car's burning cleaner than your car is. And that's what it's going to take us for all of us doing our part where we can with the vehicles that we have. You know, if it's 2001 or newer, use that E15. You're contributing to cleaner air, and we all like to breathe a little bit easier, and that's what ethanol does.